My friend Mike Delaney, I would love to hear you tell a tale. Yay!
Okay, here we go. So my tale is the origin of the cat. And I picked it because I know there's so many cat lovers in this class.
You are not kidding.
Yep, it was told to me by Dr. Connor McGuire of Claremorris, County Mayo, Western Ireland. And here it goes. Fado, Fado, long, long ago in Erin, Jesus, the Son of God, and his mother, Mary, the Blessed Virgin, were walking down a lane, as they tended to do. And there were no cats. And they're walking, they're getting hungry. So they pass a house, and Jesus sends Mary in to get them something to eat. So she goes into the house, and they're winnowing wheat. And she asks, "Can I have, an arm of wheat?" And the woman of the house says no. So she goes back out, she tells Jesus, and Jesus says, tell him, ask for it, go back in and ask for it in the name of God. So she goes back in, she asks for it in the name of God, an arm of wheat. The woman of the house says no. So Mary goes back out and tells Jesus, and Jesus says to her, well, look, do this. Go into the house, get a bucket of water, put your fist into the bucket of water, and then ask if it's okay if you put your fist in the bucket of water and then put it in the wheat, and whatever sticks to your hand, can you keep that? And so she does that. The woman says yes. So she comes back out with a wet fist of wheat. And Jesus says, just be careful, save every grain of wheat. It's very precious. So they keep walking, and fortunately, they come to a mill. And they go into the mill, and they ask the kid working there, can you grind this wheat for us? And the kid says, no, not for that little bit of wheat. I'm not going to do that. So, but the mill is owned by a man named Martin. And Martin hears what's going on. He comes over and he says, yeah, we can do that. We can grind the wheat for you. So they grind the little bit of wheat. Mary and Jesus take off with the wheat. And as they're leaving, just after they left, the whole mill was miraculously filled to the brim with flour. There's flour everywhere. And Martin realizes that this is a miracle. And there's still no cats, by the way. Did I mention that? And so Martin goes running after Jesus. And he's running. And he trips and he falls into a hawthorn bush. And a thorn from the hawthorn sticks into his breast. And he's really injured. And Jesus sees this happen. And Jesus comes over to him and takes out the thorn and puts his hand on Martin's breast. And it's miraculously cured. Wow. So then Jesus says to Martin, look, do this. Tonight when you go home, take some flour and put it underneath a bowl in your kitchen and just leave it there. And so Martin goes home and he does that. He puts some flour under a bowl, and his servant girl sees that what's going on, and she does the same thing. She takes some flour, puts it under a bowl, and they just leave it there overnight. And nothing happens. There's still no cats. Did I mention that? And the next morning, Martin gets up and he takes the bowl off the flour, and there's a huge sow and a bunch of little baby piglets, bonhams, and they go running around. And the servant girl goes over to her bowl and she takes it off, and there's a huge mouse and a bunch of mouchines, little mice. And Martin doesn't want any mice in his house, so he takes off his work glove and he throws it at the mice, and the glove turns into a cat. And that's where cats came from. And that's my tale. And if there's a bit of a lie in it, so be it.
Bravo, Mike. Well told.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, I love how you told that story.
Thanks.
Brilliant.